What's up? You seem kind of sluggish today.
Things aren't really moving.
You could use some Metamucil.
Metamucil psyllium fiber helps keep your digestive system moving so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil keeps you moving.
And try the 2-week challenge at Metamucil.com.
When you really need to sleep, you reach for the really good stuff. ZzzQuil Ultra helps you sleep better and longer when you need it most. It's non-habit forming and powered by the makers of NyQuil. ZzzQuil Ultra, when you really, really need to sleep.
This is KCAL News Mornings.
Good morning to you. Today is Thursday, January 30th. I'm Chris Holmstrom.
I'm Rudy Shabazi. We are tracking breaking news out of our nation's capital. A passenger plane and a military helicopter collided midair and crashed into the Potomac River near Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. 64 people were on board the plane, 3 on the chopper, and this morning officials believe everyone died in the horrific crash.
And here's a live look from the scene. Officials say they've now moved from a search and rescue operation to recovery. So far, at least 28 bodies have been found. KCAL News reporter Cara Fincham joins us in the studio with what else we're learning about this tragedy. It's just so awful.
It really is. And many folks went to bed last night hoping that there would be good news this morning. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Officials tell us they are now focused on recovering the remains of everyone who did die in this crash. We want to give you another look at the area of the Potomac River where hundreds of first responders are continuing to carefully comb those frigid waters. Helicopters have been out there, inflatable boats. They are conducting a meticulous search for the 60 passengers and 4 crew members who were on that plane and the 3 soldiers who were in that helicopter. Here's what we heard earlier from D.C. Fire Chief John Donnelly.
We are now at a point where we are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident. And we have recovered 27 people from the plane and 1 from the helicopter. The district office of the medical examiner has lead on reuniting these bodies and these people with their loved ones, and we will continue to work to find all the bodies and collect them and reunite them with their loved ones.
This collision was caught on camera. American Airlines Flight 5342 was making its final descent shortly before 9 last night, Washington, D.C. time. The Black Hawk helicopter had been on a training mission. Rescue crews say it ended up upside down. The plane broke into numerous pieces, and we have learned that members of the U.S. figure skating community were on board. Figure skaters, their coaches, family members, all returning from a development camp held after the National U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Wichita, Kansas. The Kremlin has also confirmed that Russian figure skaters, as well as other Russian nationals, were on this flight. Loved ones who've been waiting for passengers at the airport now learning again that this has tragically turned into a recovery mission. Shortly after word of the crash, we spoke with a man waiting for word about his wife.
I'm just praying that somebody's pulling her out of the river right now. She texted me that they were landing in 20 minutes. The rest of my text did not get delivered.
Lots of questions about what happened. An air traffic controller did ask the helicopter if it had seen the arriving plane more than once, but just seconds later, the 2 aircraft did collide. Now, the NTSB is now investigated. The last deadly crash that involved a U.S. commercial airline was back in 2009. So it's been a long time, and tragically, a lot of loss of life this morning.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking to hear him waiting for his wife there, not knowing the news yet. Yeah. All right, Cara, thank you.
Well, now let's get over to Site Manager Mark Blue at the desk with a look at the radar logs that show how both aircrafts collided. Mark.
Yeah, Chris, according to the radar logs, it appeared to be a completely uneventful flight for that American Airlines aircraft from Wichita to Washington, D.C. until the very last moments when it appears the radar logs show that helicopter and aircraft were heading right for each other. Come out to my screen. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the flight-aware radar log of American Airlines Flight 5342. Took off out of Wichita, had a completely regular straight eastbound flight into Washington, D.C. And as I zoom in here, you're going to see as it approaches